Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrideOfDetroit.com. It's time to look at individual positions. We're going to start on what's supposed to be the Lions' most fearsome unit, the defensive line, specifically defensive tackle. Today we're going to give you an analysis and a bold prediction pertaining to the defensive line. We're not going to waste any more of your time. Let's go right into it. We'll start off with the analysis, looking at four of the main cogs at defensive tackle. Then after that, we will give you our bold prediction.
We'll start off with the head of the class and Ndamukong Suh. He had a drop-off in production last year despite still having a good 2011 campaign. I look at three things as to why he had a bit of a drop. First, teams start to focus on him much more. This was not just in 2011. If you look at his rookie year, the first 8 games of his rookie year, he had 6.5 sacks. After that, only 3.5. Teams start to double team him. They start to triple team him, game planning their whole offensive line attack for one guy, Ndamukong Suh. Second, his rookie year, he played all around the field. He didn't do that last year. He lined up at defensive end. He lined up at the other defensive tackle spot, even standing up on occasion, and it did not happen last year. And third, a point that many people don't talk about, he had shoulder surgery in the offseason 2 years ago. And so this year, we look at that. He's much healthier, no major surgeries. That should help him out. In terms of playing all around the field, Gunther Cunningham said he will do that. He will line up at defensive end, the other defensive tackle spot, and maybe stand up a time or two. And teams focusing on him, well, if Cliff Averill comes back, which he should, if Nick Fairley is what we hope he can be and what he showed glimpses of, teams won't be able to double and triple team Ndamukong Suh as much. So I'm looking for him to have quite the bounce back year in 2012. Next up is Nick Fairley. We've talked about the things he's done off the field much more than what he's done on the field. We're hoping that changes in 2012. We start off with the broken foot, the injury. Then the offseason, he had the marijuana charge, the DUI charge. So he may be getting a suspension anywhere from 2 to 4 games. What we've seen on the field has been promising. Think about the New Orleans game during the regular season. He showed glimpses. Think about his career at Auburn. And then training camp, they're touting him as one of the most impressive players on the field, using his size and his tremendous speed for someone as big as him. Gunther Cunningham, defensive coordinator, already saying there will be packages where he's lined up behind Ndamukong Suh. So we're hoping that whether he's playing 12 games, 14 games, or the whole season, that he's going to live up to the billing as a first-round pick and the anchor of an SEC championship and national championship winning defense just a couple of years ago. The next two guys are really linked together. It's going to lead to my bold prediction. You have Corey Williams. Corey Williams is back in his old form. He moved to Cleveland a few years back. He played a 3-4. It didn't work. He's in a scheme and system that he's familiar with, and he's been very good. I'll say one of the more underrated pieces of this defensive line. However, he's aging. He's a free agent next year. He's making $5 million this year. You look at the team. They've got plenty of depth on the defensive line. There are other areas where they can use some help. How long will Corey Williams be here? Will he make it to the end of the year? Will he make it past that? Will we re-sign him? We don't know. However, at this point, he's still our starter. Fairley has to earn that spot. So at this point, he is the guy lining up next to Suh and still giving us a lot of production despite being a veteran, so to speak, on that line. Now, Sammy Lee Hill is interesting. Now, just a few years ago, he was a starter for this team. Granted, almost anyone could be a starter for the Lions a few years back. I probably could have started at linebacker or defensive end, at least punter. But no, seriously, being a starter in the NFL is nothing to sneeze at, and he was a starter. Just the fact that you bring in Suh, you bring in Fairley, he's become a rotational player, a role player, but he's done that role very well. I think he's going to have a big year. He has the youth on his side. He's very big. He will be a free agent next year. He's starting quality caliber on many teams. I think he has the ability to play the 3-4 or the 4-3. So I look for him to have a huge year, and it may spell the end of his career as the Detroit Lions. But for 2012, I think he's going to get even more reps. And although he's a rotational player, they move those big boys around on the line quite a bit. So look to see a lot of Sammy Lee Hill in the mix for the Lions in 2012.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that my bold prediction is going to be talking about one Corey Williams, and it's simple. My prediction is that Corey Williams will not finish the 2012 season as a member of the Detroit Lions. Now, this could happen a number of ways. He could retire from the NFL. We're throwing that one out the window. Not going to happen. He has a lot to play for. The other two possible scenarios is him being cut or him being traded. I'm predicting that he's going to be traded probably to the AFC, maybe to the NFC, certainly not in the NFC North, and he will garner a 5th-round pick that can conditionally turn into a 4th-rounder. So the broader aspect of this prediction is that he won't be on our team when the season is over. Being more specific, he's going to get traded. We'll get a 5th-round pick, possibly up to a 4th-round pick. There's a lot of reasons why. You got Fairley there. You've got Sammy Lee Hill. You have a number of guys at that position. There could be financial ramifications that we are not aware of. But at the end of the day, the prediction stands still. He won't end the season as a Detroit Lion. That's going to do it, guys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What is your bold prediction? Maybe some people are going to say Fairley's going to have a better season than Suh. I thought about that one, but I stayed away from it. What's your bold prediction? Any position? What position do you want to hear me talk about next? Comment section right down there. Leave your comments. Subscribe. That's floating around somewhere on the TV screen, or shall I say computer screen. If you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you, but I'll forgive you if you do so right now. That's it. We'll be back early next week with more Lions news, more Lions views and opinions. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. As always, this has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com.